We may have, I think we may have already had a conversation about this before, but I was thinking about Highlander and...
Like, there could be only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And...
I didn't know if you meant the romantic thing. Isn't that called Highlander?
What?
That time travel show. She goes back in time and meets like a Highlander and it's like a romantic thing. Anyway,
show?
Yeah, and don't worry. It's a thing. I don't know if it's called. I can't remember.
No, like, and how, like, I was thinking about like how it could be made into a video game, and
This sounds familiar,
but not have it be like a story. Don't follow like the storyline of the movies or anything, but have it be everybody that plays it creates their own Highlander, and have it be kind of like a Fortnite-ish type MMO game. Like, you can choose to, like, play, like, a local, like city, like your city in Seattle or whatever city you choose, and you have, like, 3 hours to, like, become the only Highlander. Or the strongest Highlander, you know? So,
yeah. I like more of a story-driven idea, though, because it'd be kind of cool to start off, and then each chapter is, like, a different period.
mean, sure, yeah. I mean, maybe could both. Why not both? I just think it'd be kind of interesting to, like, create a character in like it's a server, like, and like a server doesn't go down until, and nobody can join it. It's like one join, and then you have to like search the world for the other Highlanders. I mean, that's massive.
Yeah, like you're just talking. Oh, we have a couple friends in here.
Yeah, I keep seeing the fucking flies. It's all right. If you notice us just kind of like, whoa, I
mean, it's kind of the same thing we talked about, the Predator game. How cool would it be to actually just make your own Predator and then go around different planets hunting trophies and like displaying them in your ship and stuff? Because I remember we were really stoked about that Hunting Grounds game, and then it came out and we were like, oh, like this is that.
But could you...
What kind of game is that?
It's a 1v4 type thing.
Yeah, like...
It's a hunter versus... I can't. There's a specific name I can't remember. What it is. But like, just like, do you imagine how satisfying it would be to like, you are like the only Highlander left in your fucking server? Like, I am the one.
Well, I just think the effect too of every time you kill. Don't they get like a lightning and?
Yeah. Well, and could you imagine like how much powerful you could become, like if you just like.
The Fortnite thing kind of fits for the one better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like the Jet Li.
Oh! I still don't remember that movie very well. I don't know. This is getting kind of a long intro. Okay. We can just talk about this for an hour.
This is Tommy.
This is Jake. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. It's like one of the best scenes of the entire movie. What a weird movie. Can we just start with that?
It's very bizarre.
Very, very odd movie. It's like, it's not bad, but I don't, it's like, it's okay. It wasn't great.
I think you'll be surprised by my rating. I already have my rating, and I'm sticking to it. Whoa. My stomach just made a weird noise.
Okay.
Hello!
Yeah, welcome back, guys, to another week with us.
Hello, everyone. Hello, peoples.
We are doing some stylized period pieces. It's going to be this next block that we're doing. And I think this does fit it, actually. It's just a very...
One of the few times we actually got it right.
Hey!
What we were trying to do, we did do.
Yeah. If you didn't read the title of today's episode, we did 2006's Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, it came out actually first in France.
In France, May 24th, and then October 20th in the U.S. in 2006.
So, a quick question for you then. Did you read the difference of reviews between French reviews?
I didn't think about that until you just said that.
Cool.
Did you?
No. Oh. Because you're the review guy.
I didn't even think about doing that.
Well, the only reason I brought that up was because on Wiki, when I was just kind of like glancing through like critical response, excuse me, there was a difference between like how the French people reviewed the movie versus how American audiences reviewed the movie. Because it is about, the French Revolutionary War ish. Is-ish.
So yeah, since you kind of did that, just if you are unaware, the synopsis I put was a colorful and intimate look at the rise and fall of the Queen of France leading into the French Revolution.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Really quick, for 2006, how many movies did you have?
I counted 55.
I had 41.
It's a lot less than last time.
What did you count for 2006?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did you count last time?
I don't remember. I was in my old notebook, but I was like, the hell was I counting?
Yeah, this movie wasn't really it wasn't a box office success, but it wasn't like a huge flop. It just kind of made its money back.
With a little bit of extra.
Yeah, I was like, so this is, and we'll kind of get into her a little bit more, but it's written and directed by Sofia. Is it Coppola? How do you pronounce their last name? I always say it the wrong way each time, and I forgot to look it up.
Coppola, I was going to trust your pronunciation.
Well,
I always say Coppola.
Coppola?
That's what I always say. I don't know if that's...
We're sticking to it.
Coppola.
Like
Sofia,
it
looks like Coppola. Coppola.
Coppola.
Sofia Coppola.
They are Italian. But yeah, so coming from like what she had just done, I actually just kind of thought this movie was reviewed better and was better, was different. Like, I'd never seen this. And you said you hadn't seen it in a very long time.
Not since it came out.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend and I went to go see it or something.
Fair,
I can't remember. I forgot that Sofia did this movie.
Yeah.
I forgot it was a Coppola. I feel like every time I think we committed to saying it wrong, and every time we say it wrong, someone's like,
good. Coppola.
What is it? Oh, Mufasa. It tingles me. Say it again.
Yeah, no, it's like, so Sofia Coppola, before this, she did The Virgin Suicides and Lost in Translation. And Lost in Translation, Academy buzz and all that stuff. You good?
Yeah, it's cold.
Oh,
it's kind of hardcore chill.
Yeah. Virgin Suicide's one of my favorite, like teen angst movies. I mean, teen angst is kind of like an understatement of it. But I mean, it's
kind of more with the... It's kind of got more of a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest kind of feel to it than I would say. I mean, the teen angst makes sense, but...
I mean, it's a reflection of depression and teenage anxiety and angst and whatnot. But in a very dark lens. It's like it's a drama. It's not a comedy. It's not light.
There are funny moments.
Yeah,
but kind of in a.
So yeah, I was expecting a completely different movie going into this. Just the whole idea, like with how it's like even like the stylized like Marie Antoinette with like the pink background and the lettering in that, Kirsten Dunst, and the opening credits just like very modern music. I was expecting something that's gonna be like fast paced, like wow, like you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then it was just not that at all, but still a very interesting like dive into just like Marie Antoinette.
Well, that's why I said it was like an intimate look, because it's
that's a really good way to describe it. Yeah.
It is. It's really just, it's about her. Mm-hmm. And there's this kind of like sprinkle of the politics that we're going around because like her death,
which is interesting because of the revolution or like the French Revolution.
Well, it's just like her downfall is so set in politics, and this movie really very briefly touches on the politics.
Because it also kind of shows that she herself wasn't involved with the politics.
Yeah.
She herself was just the cause of some,
and also a scapegoat for certain like things.
Yeah,
which was interesting.
So yeah, did you read much of Marie Antoinette? Like, do you have anything you want to bring up about that before we get into all the other stuff?
No, just really that. Just
I mean, like, do you want to tell the audience like more specifically who she was involving with the French Revolutionary War?
What?
I guess as we talk about the movie,
yeah,
let's just
let it kind of
I'm trying to ask Tommy to give a history lesson.
Yeah, I'm like,
and he's like, I don't know where. Where do you begin? How about where all stories begin at the beginning?
Once upon a time.
What is that from? Is that Lord of the Rings? Did I just quote Lord of the Rings? Where all great stories begin at the beginning. Is that The Hobbit?
I mean, it sounds like something Bilbo would say when he was writing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't remember the top of my head. Anyways.
Damn it, Tommy!
I like Lord of the Rings. I don't fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not Stephen Colbert and live inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we brought up, yes, written and directed by Sofia Coppola. She's only done like 7 movies and like an 8th one coming out.
And also one of my favorite Christmas specials, A Very Merry Christmas.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that when it came out.
It's very good. She's worked with Bill Murray like 4 times.
Yeah.
She really likes working with him. This is her 3rd movie working with our lead actress, Kirsten Dunst, who we've talked about with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I was actually very impressed with Kirsten Dunst's performance through this. Because it's everything about this movie is actually so subtle. There's very, very little dialogue actually being said. It's all visual. Mm-hmm. It's like I would say it's 70% visual, 30% dialogue and whatnot.
Well, what's funny about that though, that is kind of to tie in the history as well of Marie Antoinette, is my very first synopsis was what was it? I didn't write it down, but it was something along the lines of a manic pixie dream retelling of Marie Antoinette, something like that.
Oh, that's funny.
Because it's this 2006 very manic pixie dream girl kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then reading more about Marie Antoinette, she was, by certain sources, a very warm, wanted to do good, had a lot of like, wanted to help people, but was living in this bubble.
It's completely unaware of
kind of what was going around outside the walls.
She was oblivious.
Yeah, like ignorance is bliss kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, so it's not really this manic pixie. I mean, it kind of is because it's 2006 and it's just kind of that era.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, there was some kind of like, she was very like, just a warm person and very fun-loving. And
the whole thing of like
partying.
Let them eat cake because of this like cold thing of like, just denying the French people flour and whatnot. And it's like, she's like, it's actually in reports that she just never did say that.
Well, there's no evidence, concrete evidence that she said that.
And then how they cover this in the movie, she's like, why would I say that? Why would I say that? And she's like, I don't let them get to me. Like, it was actually out of like all of the historical text, like historical like things for this movie, that scene alone kind of says so much more about the Marie Antoinette that is created for this movie than any other thing, I really think. You know, but we'll get more into that. Also starring, did I say that Kirsten Dunst and Sofia had worked 3 times together?
Yes.
Okay. Right. The third one I actually want to see because it sounds like a psychological thriller, and I want to see what Sofia Coppola does with a psychological thriller.
What is it called?
I can't remember the name. I think Somewhere or something. It's got like Elle Fanning as well. Like
it already came out?
Yeah, it's already out. Like it came out in 2016 or something.
2016. I can look. I have her up. Except IMDb always wants to fucking take forever to load. Okay.
No, I think it's the Beguiled.
The Beguiled.
Yeah, it's Nicole Kidman, Colin Farrell, Kirsten Dunst, and Elle Fanning. It's a Southern Gothic psychological thriller.
The unexpected arrival of a wounded Union soldier at a girls' school in Virginia during the American Civil War leads to jealousy and betrayal.
Yeah,
that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, right. I was like, ooh. Okay.
Great cast too.
Yeah, right. And then next leading star for this, I would say, is Jason Schwartzman, who plays King Louis XVI. And I feel like he did a really good job in this movie as well. Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I didn't even actually really notice it, but the lack of dialogue that there actually is.
Yeah, especially from him.
Yeah. But even then, too, that was something
that's also very much of the very high royalty, the high French court. They just...
Well, then he was also like another like testimony of what he was like. He was a very just quiet, introverted kind of simple man.
It was interesting. They're leading into like his possible homosexuality, but never like 100% confirming it, because there is no actual like confirmed thing for King Louis of being that, but It was rumored because it took so long for them to have a child.
Well, then also it's like he also never, which was a very common practice. He never, like his father in the movie, he never took on like a mistress. Mm-hmm. There really was no there was no talk about him doing something on the side with anybody. Yeah. She got a lot of accusations to that, but yeah, there's no one. They never really talked about his. Like he seemed pretty straightforward, like from what people could see, you know. So, but yeah, that was interesting. That wasn't.
Maybe he just he didn't care about it.
Yeah.
Maybe he was asexual.
Yeah. Maybe he was just like, I'm good. I don't want to.
I don't got the drive for that. I just realized my light is. Can you see me better now, Daddy?
Oh God.
Sorry. Okay. Jason Schwartzman worked with Wes Anderson quite a bit. Scott Pilgrim. Is like the final boyfriend at the end of that.
Oh yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
Do you want to go with just a quick list of like the other actors that are in this? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how many people are in this.
For just literally having this movie pretty much just like have the camera on Kirsten Dunst and Jason Schwartzman. It's like Kirsten Dunst 100% of the fucking movie pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then just whoever's like around her.
Yeah. Well, I put down like Steve Coogan, Judy Davis, Rip Torn. What?
Rip Torn.
It's Torn?
Torn.
Oh, I thought it was Thorn.
Nope, Torn.
Rip Torn. Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne.
Who we've talked about. Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
Randomly. Asia Argento, who played the mistress. Mm-hmm. Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Oh, kind of baby-ish Tom Hardy. But like, it's also like, I found it was like, had he blown up yet? Not so much yet.
Not so much yet.
But he'd already been like the lead bad guy in Star Trek Nemesis, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, also like, unless you're like a Trek fan, like how many? You know what I mean? I mean, I really like that movie. I mean, that has one of those stupid fucking "it was all a dream" cop outs at the end. Remember? I don't want to spoil. I know it's an old movie, but if you haven't seen it, it's good. If you haven't seen Star Trek Nemesis, it's cool. But
wait, is that how it ends?
No, the data thing.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. We're like, oh, bummer, JK. You're like, you just took all that levity away. Like I was actually feeling something, and then you're like, it's gonna be okay. No, not everything's gonna be okay.
And
is he like a clone?
I can't remember. Dude.
I think he's a clone.
Dude, it's been so long since I've seen any of those Star Trek movies. Like all the Next Generation movies, I watched when I was a kid. It's okay. Also, Jamie Dornan. He plays the one that she has the affair with.
Oh yeah.
And I was sitting there staring at him, and I'm like, why the fuck does this guy look so familiar?
It kind of reminds me of Henry Cavill.
Yeah, no.
This.
Yeah, like, no. I was like, is that Henry Cavill?
It kind of looked like him for a second.
But then I was like, oh, 50 Shades of Grey. Okay, which I've never seen, but
I've never seen either.
Yeah, but I've definitely I've seen the trailers because it was every fucking year.
And there's like 8 of them.
No, there's only like 3.
I know it's hyperbole.
It's a weird hyperbole.
Are you okay? You're weird. That's all I can think of the time. Her brother. What's his name?
Oh, I don't know who the actor was. I didn't recognize him.
Her Austrian brother?
Yeah.
No, he was the fucking Stryker in X-Men Origins.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not X-Men 2.
I know which one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember I'm totally blanking on his name.
I don't remember his name is.
I like him a lot.
Wait, you're sure? No, it was Origins, not X-Men 2.
No, I'm saying not Stryker from X-Men 2. Stryker from Origins.
Yeah.
The bad vampire in 30 Days of Night, the leader.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot, but I can never remember his name.
Dude.
He's one of those. He's like that Irish guy with the scars.
Yeah.
You see him around all the time, but you never actually learn his name.
Oh, shit. I meant to mention this back with writing. The person who wrote the book that this was loosely based off of.
Yeah, I mentioned that too.
It's Marie Antoinette, The Journey. By Antonia Fraser. And she's like a British historical like writer and journalist.
And there's a couple different books that were kind of, I know that
there was another one that they
Sofia bought the rights to like twice or something.
Yeah, she bought the rights to another one. I can't remember the name, but ultimately she decided to base most of it off of this one by Antonia Fraser.
Uh-huh.
because she felt that she found that what she wanted to do was to do a little bit more of an intimate look into just Marie Antoinette as a person.
Yes,
and not the politics.
At the beginning,
yeah.
By the way, I've seen The Beguiled.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, I accidentally left the tab open, and the trailer's been playing, and there's scenes that I'm like, I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think I've seen it once when it came out for some reason.
So do you want to get into your reviews, and then we can get into talking about this movie?
I feel like we're forgetting someone that was in it, but whatever.
Dude, with the cast for her.
It was a lot. It was cool. I like that though when you get these big names and like. Anyways, cool. Let me get some organized.
So yeah, this is for its like ratings and whatnot, which I was surprised at how low it was. But let me say this: I watched it and then I saw how low they were, and I was like, really? And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. On IMDb, it's got a 6.5. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 57 tomato meter reading and a 56 audience score, which I thought the audience score was going to possibly be higher. But all of it just kind of made sense. I was like, yeah, this is super mid-tier. So, to me.
So out of the critics, with a total of 37 reviews, there are 22 positive, 10 mixed, and 5 negative. Mm-hmm. Kirk, where are you, Kirk? Okay. 80 out of 100 for our positive Kirk Honeycutt at the Hollywood Reporter. In the revisionist Marie Antoinette, writer-director Sofia Coppola and actress Kirsten Dunst take a remote and no doubt misunderstood historical figure, the controversial and often despised Queen of France at the time of the French Revolution, and brings her into sharp focus as a living, breathing human being with flaws, flaws, passions, intelligence, and warm affections. Michael, where are you, Michael? So I'm going to butcher your name, Michael. I apologize. For the mixed 58 out of 100, Michael Stragau at the Baltimore Sun. Despite the dominant air of foolishness, the filmmaking is lush, lively, intelligent, but the gap between the direction and the script is appalling. Which I picked that because I wasn't entirely sure. I don't know if you could help me make sense of that more.
Like, what do you mean what do you want? What do you?
The gap between the direction and the script is appalling.
Yeah, what he's trying to say is that what Sofia did for like the visual direction of it all, and then what the script is like, where he just says that it doesn't. The two don't match.
Fork in the road. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't really pick one for negative. 38 out of 100, James Bertinelli at Real Views. 3 adjectives spring to mind when describing Marie Antoinette: odd, irritating, and tedious.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I can kind of see that.
Because it just doesn't go anywhere, it feels.
When you hear the mean one.
Yeah, sure.
10 out of 100, Pete Vonderhaar at Film Threat. Reports of boos at the film's debut at Cannes are most understandable now, not because Marie Antoinette is an inaccurate or indifferent look at French history, it is, but because it's self-indulgent shit. Booing and beheading are too good for it.
That's clever.
I mean, the mean ones usually are clever, like the Elvis one.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're clever, but you're like, God damn. I think it's because it's an insult with intelligence. So you're like, God.
So I was reading something about the booze at the Cannes Film Festival.
Okay.
Apparently, it's not unlike for. I was reading this for people like at anything in for performance at in France. For people to at the end of a movie or to applaud or to boo. So it's like the boos weren't like there was a couple of people booing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like half the crowd was booing. Like it's like some people heard some boos and it got over exploited or not exploited, but exaggerated. Mm-hmm. So, and some people just thought it was probably just some like French reviewers that were just like, boo. you know?
Yeah.
French people being French. But yeah, the thing with this movie is that it just doesn't seem to go anywhere. It's like one giant montage of someone's life, pretty much. I mean, if anything, you have like there's serious stakes in it for Kirsten Dunst as an actress playing Marie Antoinette in moments of like her frustration, like when she can't get her husband to have sex with her, and this pressure of that in the court and to her mother and what it means politically is wearing on her. But us as the audience, I never felt that weight that she had as well. I was seeing it, but I never felt connected to it. And I think that's kind of what Sofia Coppola was doing, was that she created this movie that's like very much of just like, here is a frame, here's a picture, and this is what happens in it. Like it feels removed. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I don't entirely agree with it.
Were you actually like? Did you feel compassion with? Because when the first child is born from his brother and her brother-in-law, and she walks down the hall and she has her breakdown, and which is clear. It's like she failed, pretty much, is what she's feeling at this moment. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, this is really good acting and really committed to this thing, but I don't connect with this. I'm appreciating it, I'm applauding it, but I'm not getting emotional with her.
Well, I think it's also like going into it and knowing what ends up happening to this family.
Yeah, there was a part of me was like, do I get to see the beheading at the end of this?
I thought that was a very interesting thing to not do, but
I feel like the ending of this is one of the more. There's like moments of where I can see artistic thought from like Sofia Coppola trying to be too smart. If you know if does that make sense?
Well, it's like knowing what happens to this family and having but then also there's the whole like point too is it's trying to show the naive elements of their personalities.
Yes.
In the sense, like in the fact that like, yeah, she knows that she's supposed to be this child bearer and bring an heir to the throne.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't think that she really understands like the levity of the situation, and that's why you're not getting it. Because, the mom, everyone's like warning her like, hey, your position is not secured until you have a kid.
Well, I mean, I feel like she understood the levity of it, but it was like she felt like stuck between a rock and a hard place, because what is she going to do? Like, she's not going to just force her husband to like do stuff to her. She's like,
no, I know, but I don't think as a child she really understood the like, because of the lavish gambling and apparently, was getting 300 dresses made a year.
Well, that's later.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, but even like in the I just feel like that's kind of what the point of it is it's showing really trying to put across how young they were with this whole situation.
That's fair,
because even then,
because she was 14 when she was married off. But how old was he? He
was a little bit older.
Yeah, they're actually very close in age. Actually,
I can't remember how old he was.
I want to say he was like 16.
16, something like 15, 16.
Yeah,
I think something like that.
Which honestly, maybe that's like it was just like teenage uncomfortability. Like it took him 8 years for them to finally have a kid because
he was 16.
Like he was like, I don't know what to do with this stuff.
Well, that's even the thing too, because it even sounded like, I don't know. It didn't really, and I didn't actually read I didn't read how much grooming she had or he had before this alliance was made between the two.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, you're the up and coming king and queen, you'll teach things.
Yeah.
And then it's also like, at least in the movie like sense, and even when I was reading like letters or like bits of letters that were sent back and forth between mom and Marie.
Yeah.
She was very kind of surprised at certain French customs for royalty. Like she would go to like wash her hands or something, and there would be this appalled like, wait, we have like, the nursing thing. We have a nurse for this. And she's like, I don't need that. So it's like, it kind of made it clear that no one had really been like, hey, you're going to go to a completely other culture and just kind of wing it. Okay, cool. Have fun.
Which I do like that. I mean, yes. What's really interesting is the way that Sofia Coppola creates that at the very beginning when she enters the tent and she's like, you will now leave all of...
they take her dog!
Yeah, no, wait, where was she from? Not Denmark. No.
Austria, right? Was she Austrian? I can't remember now. I'm totally breaking.
Oh, man. No, that's close. Yeah, Archduchess of Austria.
Yeah, Austria. I think she was Austrian.
How it's like you will leave all of Austria behind and you will now embrace all of France. And literally, when she has the dog and her handler or whatever takes the dog, and I was like, no! I was sitting there, I'm like, dude, you're taking the dog. You're going to take the dog. You're leaving all of Austria behind. And then they strip her naked and literally and then wash her. It's like, they are literally... It's like it's all symbolic and like, yeah, like they are making you a French person right now.
Which then also like with Marie Antoinette is like then like she got in trouble for being Austrian during the French Revolution because of like the perceived enemy that Austria was. It's like you're like, yeah, man, you really didn't have a shot in hell.
It's almost like a woman can't win, in history.
Well, it didn't work out for Louis any better either.
Well, yeah, but still.
It didn't really work out for anybody in the end.
Yeah, so like this movie itself is just, it is so much more of just like a portrait of a woman's life.
And that's what I think
sorry.
I was just going to say with people though too, it's like you don't go into this expecting like a historical period drama because it's supposed to be a movie. It's called Marie Antoinette because it's about Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
It's not called the French Revolution.
It's interesting though on the choice of the stylized idea with the modern music, the way that some of the montage scenes cut together, where it seems like this like insight into a teenage girl's
that's the manic pixie dream part that comes through.
Kind of, yeah, like when they're like shopping, like where the dress is. That's more like a representation of privilege. Like the manic pixie dream girl thing would be kind of more of the aloofness.
But the whole they're eating, I want candy, with the music and everything, it made me think of 2006, very manic pixie dream girl shit from that era. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I guess like our thoughts of manic pixie dream girls are very different because manic pixie dream girls like Natalie Portman in Garden State, Zooey Deschanel in 500 Days of Summer, Kirsten Dunst in Elizabethtown, Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
So annoying in that.
Yeah,
in Elizabethtown.
Mm-hmm. She's really annoying. Yeah. So like the Manic Pixie Dream Girl is. I mean, she's more of a representation, like an idea of a female that is meant to give the struggling male lead a purpose in life type thing, like Garden State is like
I've never seen Garden State and I kind of refuse to watch it.
Oh, dude, it's a wonderful movie actually. Like that
was Zach Braff.
Yeah, it's a really good exploration into like disassociation of like self and like family and,
I'm good at that.
Depression. Like you would probably connect with Zach Braff's character very well.
That's what you said about fucking that stupid ass movie I can't stand. John Cusack.
Oh, High Fidelity.
Oh yeah, is it like that? Am I gonna watch and be like, no, I hate that movie? And you're like, you really like it? And I was like, I'm kind of insulted that you think I like it. It's irritating the shit out of me.
Was it High Fidelity?
I think it was High Fidelity. Is that with Jack Black too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the record store. Oh yeah. God damn.
Yeah, he's annoying as hell.
I wanted to burn it.
That's the idea. You're supposed to hate him.
Oh, it worked. I watched it once and I'm like, okay, cool. Knock that off the list.
Anywho, I think where you're looking at the Manic Pixie Dream Girl idea is more of just like.
I think it's more of the stylized.
Yeah.
Film.
Yeah.
Or even I don't know. It's even that like. So whenever I think of Manic Pixie Dream Girl, I think more of like I eat my dessert before I eat my dinner because I'm quirky.
No, exactly. That's the Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
And I just,
I don't get that from Marie Antoinette, all.
I don't know.
I just saw that as she because that hard cut to I want candy in the shopping is right after she's done crying because she can't because she's realizing she's failing at her job. So what does she do? She goes shopping with her best friends
candy.
And eats all the cake and all the sweets because she's shoving her sorrow down and sorrowness away.
Whenever Rose Byrne is drunk in a movie, I feel like that's how she really is when she's drunk.
Probably.
Like really kind of like touchy and really giggly and just loud and like, yeah, I don't know. Sorry. That's random shower thought. There's just a scene where they're like all messed up.
Yeah.
You know, and I just like, I feel like that's what she'd be like drunk.
Because that's how she, like, when she's kind of, every movie that she's drunk in, she's kind of like,
yeah.
Hi. She's so wonderful.
I do. Yeah. I love Rose Byrne. I really do.
I lost my train of thought now. What was it? Oh yeah, I feel like the modernness of this movie makes it feel more like you can become. It's I don't know. It's weird because like it feels like it's a forced thing put onto it, but I feel like if you don't have this modernness like put into the movie, like this modernist feel, then you don't connect with Marie Antoinette in the same way.
Well, I think that if you just had straight up like period music for the way it looked, it would come off a little weird because it is like, I mean, granted, you know, at this time the wardrobes were.
Oh yeah, this won Academy Award for Best Costume Design.
Well, I just mean like the royalty had these incredible clothing, you know, but they even take it a little farther, you know, with the extravagance of it. But Marie Antoinette was known for her extravagant like hairstyles and but I think like a good example of like taking modern day music and blending it into a period piece. I think a great example of that is Knight's Tale.
Yes, that is
They did a really good job with that because, you know, even like in the beginning, We Will Rock You, and it starts, they do off the little trumpet thing, and then it melds into We Will Rock You, or the ball scene.
Yeah.
Where it turns into Golden Years by David Bowie. And it's like, maybe they should have done something kind of like that, really melded them, as opposed to just throwing like some 80s pop rock kind of stuff in there. Yeah,
because it's like it makes it feel that the stylized idea of it is more like a projected idea from the director as opposed to integrated in with the script.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it doesn't feel integrated.
And I think that's what that one reviewer was talking about, was where the direction and the script don't, like, they go separate ways.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel like without the music, it would have been weirder, honestly.
No, exactly. But since they're not integrated, that's why that reviewer was saying that.
Yeah.
You know, like without it, it still doesn't work, but it still could have had another step to blend.
Well, this movie definitely too is like eye porn there's a lot of really great shots.
Yeah, no, it's very beautifully shot. Oh, who's the cinematographer?
I actually didn't look that up either.
That's actually Marie Antoinette. Produced cinematography, Lance Accord. What have you done, Lance?
Hi, Lance.
Filmography, God's Pocket, Where the Wild Things Are, Marie Antoinette, Lost in Translation, Adaptation, Southlander, Chop Suey, music video. Being John Malkovich. Okay, so he's
also a director too.
Is that what he's directed, or is that? Anyway, so you got to give it to him for, you know, really pulling together what Sofia Coppola was, was going for too, and also like the symmetrical like shots and whatnot. Even though like a lot of stuff on this move more than a Wes Anderson film, it definitely has that kind of like that stasis quirkiness that Wes Anderson films can like kind of hold, you know, like when they're sitting at the breakfast table together, boom, and she was looking over at him, looking at her food.
Yeah.
But the thing that like breaks that like stylized to that Wes Anderson would just stay on that shot the entire time, as opposed to Sofia then cuts to like over the shoulders back and forth. But it creates this like this tension and like distance, and you know, like there is a lot of good in this movie. Since you don't really get a full journey from Marie Antoinette and really see like there's no catharsis to this. What?
The catharsis is she gets her head chopped off.
In real life, but that doesn't happen. But then again, like, okay, then from the ending, like how they're hiding in their space, and then they're like gonna actually flee the royal court, and the final shot is her bedroom completely destroyed, alluding to the future of what's gonna happen to her, and that is like, and now this is actually the end of this French regime, and the proletariat have risen to kill the bourgeoisie. So
yeah, I thought it ended great. I loved that.
Yeah, well, no, I like it too.
I thought that was a great, because it's like it is her period here.
Yes,
is now over, and then it's like okay, because even then it's like with the style of film. I mean, it would have been interesting to see what Sofia would have done with the end of it becoming this, because they were arrested, they're held at the Temple prison in the central Paris
on trial.
They're on trial. There's like this. It wasn't like they left home and then immediately got executed. This was a process.
Yeah, it was. It's like some people kind of have this like image. I feel that's like they were like dragged out of their chariots
straight to the guillotine.
And like, off with their heads.
No, yeah, it's like no. This was a process. She was on trial for 2 days for high treason.
No, they committed her or accused her of incest with her like oldest son and shit.
Illegitimate children. Yeah, like, there's a whole bunch of
all of this shit that she did not do. That's not in the books anywhere. It was just like all of this stuff of hearsay, like mainly like fuck.
Well, I just thought it was funny too, like when they're talking about helping the Americas in their revolution, and you're like, that is a terrible idea. Objectively,
actually,
they're revolting against their king, dude. Don't promote revolting against your king.
I love like how small that was, but the weight of it. If like it's definitely like you got to know the history to know the weight of what's going to happen with this.
Yeah,
but like when they're like, our American brethren are asking for aid against the English, but if it would be a great thing to do to show our strength against the English, and that's like all they're in. King Louis like I'm not sure, but it was sitting there when I was looking at that, I was like, wait a second, I always thought the French Revolution happened before the American Revolution, and they're like years apart from each other. I was like, this is like, and I was like, oh shit, the American Revolution led to the French Revolution.
What's all those?
Holy shit!
Those things are happening at the same time that you just like. I always forget that like Napoleon was like the 1800s. I always want to think it's like 1640. I'm like, no, actually, it's more recent than you really think it is.
Yeah, he fucking knew George Washington.
Like you're like, oh, he fought in the revolution. Napoleon was fought in our revolution, and then was in their revolution. You're like, oh yeah. Then he became emperor. You're like, man, wild ride, Napoleon. And you had an
Where's my
island.
stylized Napoleon movie?
Dude, that'd be sick. Like, actually, that'd be kind of cool.
You know who would have been a great?
Who'd you cast?
Young Danny DeVito.
No, that's too funny. Like who would actually be good?
All right. Gilbert Gottfried. All right. Let's get back on to Marie Antoinette.
My name's Napoleon.
I am the Emperor of France.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like little hat. What do you mean I can't eat this croissant? In another universe. Parallel timeline.
Whew, okay. All right. Well, was there anything else? We kind of brought that up. It was like the like editing and whatnot, and just like her flighty life. It was like kind of felt like a high school comedy drama thing for like a little bit. Excuse me.
Well, then it was also like a kind of cool, like it did show the relationship with Louis changing, and they actually became like friends.
Yeah.
Even though there wasn't this super romantic thing. Like,
yeah.
It was, it was love in a different way.
And the way that he kind of was like, and this is like your chateau in the garden for you. This is your home that you can live in, type thing.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and it's like
parties
like like with her having the affair with that guy, Jamie Dornan, was kind of I kind of felt that I was like, I don't think Louis would really. Like, I mean, it's the way that Sofia Coppola is like writing this story and presenting these characters to us, but I don't feel like this Louis in the movie would have really cared too much. He would have been like maybe disappointed, but like I think Oders would have understood. Maybe, I don't know, because even like she's like, no, come stay, see the sunrise. Like, no, I'm gonna go to bed. Like. Well, you have your fun.
That's what I was reading too. She was very much like a night owl.
Yeah.
And he was an early to bed, early rise kind of thing,
I like to say when like after her birthday, when she wakes up like on like the couch thing or whatever, like with all the people
the fainting couch.
Yeah.
The paintings are always on that one.
I do gotta say, like the way that Sofia Coppola like later life kind of like does Marie Antoinette into a montage of like then their son being born, and then there's the third child who then they lose through that
was
portrait.
Cool. That was a cool way of like explaining that.
They also like again like the costume and makeup, like makeup does such a great job. Like the way that Kirsten Dunst plays Marie at the very beginning is very young and flighty, and I feel like she's a young girl. I would say 16. It's kind of hard to imagine Kirsten Dunst being 14 at that point. Well,
it's hard too because we've seen her.
Yeah, we know what she looks like at 14
in Jumanji. And Small Soldiers. It's like you weren't that tall, girl. Like, hate to break it to you, you look the same in the face, but
they did a really good job of really kind of like helping like with the clothes and even Kirsten Dunst's performance. Like you see her do age, and then she gets into her like early teens, early 20s, and her vibrancy in her life and whatnot. And then as like that goes on, and did you notice that the colors also got darker? Her clothes got darker.
They gave her a little bit more like kind of bag under here.
It was like,
but that's what I was wondering too. Is like, because it's such this beautiful, the pastels and the gold. It's a beautiful movie,
Yeah.
the fact they actually were at, what is it called?
Oh God, the court.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna butcher it. I'm not good with French.
Do you think I am?
No, I know how you feel about it.
No, that's, I don't know. Which one are we looking at? Madame de Bellay, Dauphine, Palace of Versailles.
Yeah, Palace of Versailles was okay, but the fact that they're actually able to go to Versailles and actually have so much carte blanche over like
like the filming,
yeah,
no, that was a super like I was reading about that, is like the fact that the like French embassy like gave them
like go film, like do it. So that was really cool.
Fucking daddy paid for like helped put the Francis Ford Coppola was like, yo, I made The Godfather. Wait, he did The Godfather, right? Yeah. Right?
Dude. Yes. God, I'm trying to make a point and I keep forgetting.
Okay, they were filming at Versailles.
Like this stylized costumes and everything, about how pretty it was. It would have been interesting to see everything, like the trial and then the execution, and see what Sofia would do with that. But then in my head I was like, are we just gonna end up turning into Les Mis at that point? Like
more or less,
it's gonna feel like Les Mis at that point.
I mean, that's what Les Mis was.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it was a good call. I mean, I did like the ending, but I was just curious to see, once it got to this darker turn where everything is completely fallen apart, it would have been interesting to see what Sofia was what she could have done with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I was right. Godfather.
I was like,
silence. We're like, why am I second guessing this? Because she's in The Godfather. Sofia Coppola.
Is she?
Yeah. Well, she plays the daughter in Godfather 3, but when she was an infant, she was the baby at the wedding.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
How have we never done one of his movies?
I don't know.
They're fucking intense.
And they're pretty like critically acclaimed. It's like I kind of like.
I didn't know he did Jack.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. That's so funny to me. That is hilarious. You're like the Godfather. Like, he did Peggy Sue Got Married?
Mm-hmm.
What? Whoa. He did Dracula?
Bram Stoker's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just like Godfather, Apocalypse Now, Jack. What?
Did he do Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We don't, for this really renowned director, we're really failing on all of the information.
Who did I think did Apocalypse
Who
Now?
could you have thought?
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, I could see that, but that kind of feels weird.
But it's like as I say that, I'm like, that's wrong. That's very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck. Anywho, okay, so Marie Antoinette, what's your rating?
3.
3?
I give it a solid 3 because it is like, I think that it killed it in it is just about this woman in this time.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of showing, like I was saying, the naiveness and everything of her not understanding what was going on, not only just politically with all the different countries and everything, but just with her people alone.
Yes.
And the trials and tribulations they were going through, and her just living in this little bubble was unaware, because also no one was giving her the information except like from these. And
that's 100% accurate in what you're saying. I just wish they would have presented that and made that more clear in this script as well. Like her complete obliviousness to what's happening to her people and all that stuff. We are aware of it in our knowledge of like what was happening in France and what leading up to the French Revolution. It would have been interesting to see a little bit of perspective in the movie of like this difference between her and them.
Well, yeah, and then also there are definitely scenes where some like Steve
Coogan, yeah.
Coogan, yeah. Steve Coogan is like, there are moments where people are trying to like tell her, but they're beating around the bush as opposed to just being like, okay.
He's like, you need to stop. You've already spent your allowance for the month.
Well, even like, because you're talking to the queen, so there's like this certain kind of bullshit you got to go through. But he's like, you've already spent $50,000.
You know what's also what's fucking crazy about that is the way that Sofia Coppola makes Marie Antoinette is that if someone would have just said no to her, she would have been like, oh, she would have probably been understanding. But since she's the queen, they feel this like pressure, like I can't do that.
Well, because there's a certain rules of how you interact with royalty.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, and so there are moments where people are telling her, but they're not like, listen,
bitch,
listen. You need to listen. No, they're all like kind of skirting around the issue.
Yeah,
being like, oh, man, you did spend this much. It's supposed to be like, yo, no trees.
Hey.
No,
get off the shed.
No, that's the moment too. Is like he's like, you already spent $50,000.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, fine, I'll take the small trees. Oh, your wig makers. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And no one's just like, because even then it's like
But you see, but again, like that's stuff that you, as an audience member, you need to have knowledge of stuff to understand why this is a bad thing and why this is like detrimental. So it's interesting that Sofia Coppola made this movie where it's like, and I feel like it would take away from what this movie is, but it also is what this movie needs to have a more coherent like story, to feel sympathy for her and the world.
That's interesting actually, because it's kind of like in this weird middle ground.
Yeah.
Where it's like you don't need to know a lot about Marie Antoinette to watch this and enjoy the costumes and this kind of weird tribulation like love story, tumultuous love story kind of triangle thing. Like there's these little things that you can enjoy, but then it's like
it's rooted in reality.
But it's rooted in reality, but
in
it's not
historical text.
But it's not giving you enough history.
Yeah.
So it's in this weird middle ground where it's not really for history buff people
who are gonna hate it
because it's not accurate enough.
Yeah.
And then if you lean too much into it, then you would bore. Mm-hmm. The costume and the Willy Wonka of it, you know.
Willy Wonka.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean. I just like the yeah.
Yeah, you know, so that's interesting. But yeah, I say a solid 3 because I mean...
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Because even like we were saying, like there's the things that I'm like complaining about, like the music and stuff, didn't ruin it for me. Yeah. I just was sitting there as a jackass being like, okay, well, I think you should have done Sofia. And you're like, shut up.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, who the fuck are you? But, you know, it's that lizard part of my brain that like, what they should have done is what they should have done. They should, you know, it's like, shut up.
It's like, all right, Christopher Titus.
Yeah, right. I don't know why. I think it's because I said lizard brain. Yeah. I did turn into Christopher. Jesus, you need a Tic Tac. What happened to him? Is he still around?
Yeah, he's doing like more producing, I think, stuff.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's like I really like enjoyed it, and it was one of I've just like slowly just stopped renting stuff, and I just buy them just to have them in case I'm like, you know, I never want to rent it and then like, oh wait, actually I can't remember how that scene happened. Shit, I got to rent it again for $6. It's like, no, I just have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Did you? I did.
I was very blah by the end of it. I was like, okay, well, that happened.
Really? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. And as a history, like, you know, like I like reading about history and stuff. And I kind of liked the lukewarm thing about it. It wasn't, you know, like, cause we were sitting at dinner and we were kind of talking about the Marie Antoinette, not the movie version. And we were just kind of like talking about like some of the politics and, you know, the history behind her. And I just realized I was like, man, we're getting real Game of Thrones up in here, you know, just talking about like, well, then she was sleeping with this guy. And then there's like this big scandal about a necklace that got, and that, you know, and I was just going through it and I was like, and I was like, no, I didn't, I'm glad it wasn't that. Yeah. This heavy political thing. It was just kind of this journey with this woman.
It was like as you like in a look to an intimate look into a woman's life. Yeah, and it's very much it's presented in this sense of like of what you think the personality of Marie Antoinette would be.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to even though these
if anything, the movie's got personality.
She eats her cake before her dinner. You have to try this fresh milk. You just have to.
Let's go to the zoo and rescue a panda.
Were they gambling with candy? Their chips?
It looked like I don't know. It was like it looked like
sugar. It looked like sugar to me.
No. They looked like coins, like made out of pearls and shit.
Oh, I thought it was like candy.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like expensive gems.
Either one works. Yeah. It could have.
I don't know what French currency was at the time.
I don't remember.
What is French currency now? Do they use euros? Sandwiches?
It's like you specifically want to insult French people. Imagine that.
Fuck the French. All right.
It's such a weird thing. It's like you're like totally you like suddenly become a nationalist when the French are involved. Like, it's so weird.
You don't speak my language. Get out of my country.
It's so weird. Take your flaky bread with you. It's so weird. I don't understand.
You know what? You can take the Statue of Liberty back. I don't fucking want it anymore.
I know it was a Trojan horse. No, there's still people in there waiting for the time to strike. How funny would that be if one day they like excavated it and they did find, in fact, like...
Wait, no, what if there's like a tunnel, the weird tunnel they've just been slowly building over years between underneath France? Like under, like...
Or it's like an old steampunk mech suit. Oh, like, flip the switch and it like...
The torch comes down. Boom. Okay, we need to wrap up. We
just described the ending to Ghostbusters.
I know.
Okay. All right. So I give it a 3. What are you giving it?
I agree with 3.
You're good with 3? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Oh, right, my God.
Okay. Next week, we're stylized time period pieces. We were going to do the, 2000?
Great Gatsby. I think it's 2012 or 13.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do the Great Gatsby because neither of us have seen that one, actually.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 100%.
I always wanted to, but I never got around to it.
Same. I'm lightheaded from laughing.
What is the song that they have to play to activate?
Power of Love.
Oh,
yeah. Higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. All right, cool. Thanks for listening. So yeah, join us next week for The Great Gatsby. Like us on Instagram. We're on anywhere you can find
follow
your
us on
podcast.
Instagram. Like, subscribe, YouTube, or follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
everywhere else.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
The video is on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's it. Like that laugh got me totally.
Dude, yeah, we wrecked ourselves.
So this is Tommy.
This is Jacob. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Later, guys.